Right, hello everyone. This is the as yet unnamed movie podcast with myself, Connor, and this is Chadwick right here.
Hey, how's it going?
So, if you follow Chadwick on his gaming channel, BadChad, probably would have heard of this. He's been advertising. If you aren't subscribed yet, please subscribe to BadChad. You can find him on YouTube, just BadChad, and you find yourself on Twitter at BadChad. And make sure you put the Z at the end. It's the BadChads.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the plural in and the Z at the end. This is going to be a little a movie podcast we might do every now and again.
Yeah, hopefully do it a weekly. Probably goes up every Sunday, Monday. Depends what we decide to do.
Depends what schedule we get in. We're still it's unscheduled at the moment, but we should get one done soon enough. But this is going to be our little trial run. It's probably going to be really amateur.
You say amateur, but like I like to call myself a professional, an upcoming professional.
A professional amateur.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm good at being normal.
Hopefully we develop this more and we'll get the format down more. This is kind of like more a trial run. Our first episode. This is going to be put on Chadwick your YouTube account.
And iTunes.
Yeah, and we'll get up on iTunes and we'll see about setting up a YouTube channel maybe, and we'll get maybe a Twitter. I don't have a Twitter yet. I'll get one soon.
Do you have a Twitter for yourself?
No, I'll get one soon so I can promote it on this.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a personal Twitter because I can't tweet personal things.
I'm pretty much the same. I can't stand.
I can't do personal tweets. I feel really awkward. But I'll do one for like following movie stuff, of course. That's
basically all I use for my personal.
I mean, I don't know why you'd use it for anything else.
I don't even use my personal anymore. I just use the BadChad.
Unless you're like 12 and really insecure about yourself.
I hate seeing some of those tweets. It's like,
yeah.
It's like making toast now. It's like, and then the next one.
It's a picture of my breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's another one with butter in it.
Instead of breakfast, I'll just be putting up like the Batman vs Superman movie ticket. It's like, can't wait.
Eating this instead.
First off, we're just doing this as fun, really, because it's hard to find anyone to talk with about proper movies in where we live, which is a small town in the Midlands of Ireland.
Yeah.
So hopefully you enjoy this and you enjoy two Irish teenagers talking about movies. There's a lot of... We're going to get right into it. We might as well.
Yeah,
there's a decent bit of movie news out this week. We're going to start off with the new X-Men Apocalypse trailer that came out.
That actually looks so good. I remember reading the comics absolutely ages ago. Now, I didn't finish the comics, but like but like the Apocalypse kind of section of it, I love the idea of Apocalypse.
I think the biggest problem with Apocalypse is translating to film.
Yeah,
because he's a comic character, like the definition of a comic character.
He has so much shit. It's like a Superman-y kind of ability. Like they're undefined, a lot of the shit. He can just kind of just do a lot of stuff.
Like, because you know, if you ask someone, or if you even go into like the Wikipedia page and look at like abilities, you'll get like 5 paragraphs of what he can do, and it's good in a way because it gives the writers a lot of room to use, like, especially nowadays, cool effects, and we've seen those effects.
Cause you can see them in the trailer straight away. Like you can see like him changing size, him doing this, him fucking not even touching people, throwing them, or even like. You saw him with Professor Xavier. Like
that was probably the best scene in the whole trailer.
Yeah. Like you could see him like crippling on his mind and everything. So like that's just showing you how powerful this guy is. But
and of all people to get Oscar Isaac, who is doing great work right now. He just came off Star Wars, which he got a lot of praise for. Even though he's not in it much, he is going to be kind of the new Han Solo of that franchise, and he's a part of the X-Men franchise now as their biggest intimidating villain. You know, their biggest villain is Magneto, but this is the guy who can destroy the X-Men.
I feel like Magneto, like he is a villain, but like he's one of those kind of it's like a
probably the most complicated villain in comics.
It's like an ex-girlfriend or something. It's like you don't really know. Are you friends with them? Are you not friends with them? Like,
that's basically Professor Xavier and Magneto's effect on each other.
I remember when I first started watching the films, I was so confused. I was like, are these guys friends? Is this guy the enemy? It's like he seems like he's not the enemy.
First off, I think we should get to what we like about. We really liked it. I think this was the best piece of marketing we've seen from this movie so far.
It was very good.
The first trailer I thought was fine. I liked it. The Super Bowl trailer I did like as well, but this really got me excited for this because we get to see more, because it feels like they were hiding stuff before, and maybe that was because of the early criticism that the look of Apocalypse got. People thought he looked like the Power Rangers character, Ivan Ooze. I don't think you've seen that. There's like comparison pictures. it was off one picture they released in Entertainment Weekly where there was some sort of lighting that made him look purple. People, of course, comic book fans
fucking
got
robot
really pissed off because Apocalypse is, of course, not purple. In this, he has a blue tint, nearly.
Yeah.
I like the look. I mean, I
it's
think
kind of a greyish blue kind of colour.
Even in the look you see in the comics, it's really hard to translate that to film. But I think they've done a good job from what we've seen anyway. And they're still this is in post production right now, obviously, but they're really working with this in post production because this is the first time we've heard the altered voice for Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because he has this more kind of nearly robotic voice right now.
The movie. Yeah.
Compared with what else we've seen, which was just Oscar Isaac's voice unaltered. But I think I really like the look of this movie in terms of the effects. People are complaining that some of the effects look unfinished. It's in post. It's in post production. They're working on that right now. But I think some of the effects look fantastic. The one thing that everyone seems to get angry about, and me as well, is Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. Because you can tell that Fox was listening to what people were saying about the other trailers. The biggest complaint about this movie in the marketing so far has been the emphasis on Mystique and the lack of Mystique.
Yeah, no,
I mean, what I mean by that is that it's been Jennifer Lawrence in this trailer. It hasn't been Mystique. The blue skin, the traditional Mystique look, except for this trailer. Because they definitely looked at what people were saying online, because that was definitely the biggest criticism. Even in the posters they've been releasing, if Mystique is in the poster, it is Jennifer Lawrence without the blue skin, without the makeup, which rumors that she's complaining that she has to wear too much, which of course,
And I'm sorry, if you're going to complain about that, just don't do it. You're playing. You're fair enough. I can understand she is a shapeshifter. She can change to any person she wants to. She chooses to change to herself. It's lovely. But
my biggest problem with this is I don't mind changing up characters and character traits and whatnot for movies if it works for the movie, but if you're in a film franchise, and in X-Men First Class we got that classic line, mutant and proud, where she at the end she decides to go full blue for seemingly forever, and in Days of Future Past she was blue for a lot of it. She rarely turned into the Jennifer Lawrence skin that she had, or whatever you want to call it. But in this, there's a lot more Jennifer Lawrence. Not in this particular trailer. They tried to show off a lot more of the blue Mystique.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's not like she's not getting paid to do this.
I mean, the highest paid actress in Hollywood right now.
Exactly. There you go. It's like she's getting paid so much to do it.
And I mean, what really annoys me is that there's actors here that are looking to do this type of work. If you look at Andy Serkis, who I think is nearly one of the most actors with the least amount of ego, because he's wearing a motion capture suit for most of his films, and on screen he's appearing as an ape. In Planet of the Apes he's appearing as King Kong. He's actually doing the new Jungle Book as well, and he's going to be Baloo. We'll talk about that later, because there seems to be a lot of controversy resolving around the two new Jungle Book movies that are coming out. But another thing I want to say is that another comic book movie that's coming out today that has a character wearing a lot of makeup, Suicide Squad. And Killer Croc in that actor has to wear makeup all the time. Yeah, but he can't shift. That is his face and his body. That just goes to show that there are people willing to go through that hard work. I know you're sitting in a makeup chair for 7 hours a day, but that's your job.
Yeah, you shouldn't. It's one of those things. You're not. It's not like you're not getting paid a little bit for. You're getting paid handsomely.
I'd love to see what she is getting for this movie, because it's definitely in the double digits of millions. I think.
It's just crazy, some people don't even make that in their life, and she's making it with one movie, and she's having a little bitch about it.
It's crazy, and it really annoys me more because Jennifer Lawrence seems to have that kind of look about her that she tries to put off, that she's a relatable human being, that she loves pizza and she's a real human being, and she's there complaining that she has to wear blue makeup.
God help her.
But in retrospect, we do like this trailer. We do like this trailer a lot.
It is good.
I think the movie's going to be good. It's interesting to see how good it's going to be. But I think it's going to be good. And the new cast look great. I think that's one thing. It feels like an X-Men movie because there's so many different characters, and that's what X-Men is. It's all these different characters.
I feel like it's going about, X-Men First Class. When they finally went back.
Yeah.
It was one of those first times when they went back. I feel like it'll do about as well as that. because
Well, definitely better financially, because the last X-Men movie made a 750, and of course X-Men First
Days of
Class
Future
was coming
Past.
off of a few kind of not well received X-Men movies, and it made 300 and I think it was $330 million, which was good for the time and the budget that they had. But I think this movie, it'll be interesting to see what this movie does compared with both X-Men Days of Future Past and Deadpool, because Deadpool is crushing at the box office right now. We will talk about that later. But a little hint, it is crushing at the box office right now. It's
if you haven't seen it, you
If
should
you haven't
go
seen-
and
if
see
you-
it
if you're-
without a shadow of a doubt.
if you haven't seen Deadpool, what are you doing with your life? Really, like
Fan
everyone's.
or not of
Fan
any
or-
comic books, just go
If
see
you
it.
if you just like to go see a good movie, go see Deadpool. Anyway, we both think X-Men's going to be good, and as a heads up, we are getting X-Men Apocalypse a week early. We live in Ireland, and we're getting X-Men Apocalypse a week earlier than the States. The one benefit of living close to the UK, as you said,
Yeah, exactly.
getting early screenings for some films. We get a lot of Marvel movies early. But anyway, we're excited for it.
I think it's gonna be.
I think it's good. Let's move on to the next trailer that was released this week, and I think this is the one that everyone was surprised about. This is Seth Rogen's new film. Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg,
James
Franco. These guys all make great movies. This is Sausage Party, the first CG animated R-rated movie
Ever. Jesus.
Not the first animated, but the first CG animated. So the CGI, pretty much,
That's-
all computer generated. This film looks hilarious.
They-
I remember I followed this film about a year ago when it was first announced that these guys were doing it, because it's been a big passion project for them. But of course, we've seen how R-rated movies can be hard to get off the ground with some studios, especially ones like, say, a Deadpool, which is an R-rated comic book movie, or this, which is even weirder, an R-rated animated movie.
Yeah, like as well as that, you had to bear in mind it was hard enough to get Deadpool off the ground, and that had a fan base behind it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah, so Sausage Party started from nowhere essentially.
yeah.
Like it just started as an idea, and they're trying to do it. So it's animated as well.
When you think of that, even just as you raised there, it seems even more weird. But we both agree as well that this looks so funny. And one of the things I actually liked most about it was how good the potato Irish accent was. Because
usually
yeah.
some of them can be quite racist.
I mean,
but like
if you've seen that Ron Howard Tom Cruise movie where he plays the Irishman, literally, if you want a good time, want to watch a really bad accent, go watch that Ron Howard Tom Cruise movie, because I even watched the trailer and I couldn't stop laughing. It was so bad. But this is actually pretty authentic.
Did they get an Irish guy to do it?
I don't know. It's definitely not one of the bigger actors, I don't think.
But geez, I could picture an Irish
it's
person
great.
saying that.
But this anyway, let's talk about this trailer. This trailer was so funny. Even different parts, from the potato being peeled, and it's little
the
exclamations,
baby
the baby carrots, or I think what my favorite part was the Saving Private Ryan reference, where he has the ringing in the ear, and it's all kind of black and white, and the spaghetti's trying to scoop its insides back in, and the Oreo goes to pick up its other half that's been blown off, like stuff like this. Seth Rogen and his team are on such a good track record right now.
It's honestly like they cannot do any wrong.
Even what I love about that team is that even when they make something that they don't think is good, they make fun of it so much.
Yeah.
Even if you want to see,
even when it's not good, it's good. But in a different way.
It's like, and this is the end. They basically took the absolute piss out of themselves so well. I mean, that movie is fantastic, but I think what Sausage Party is going to do is the same thing that Deadpool is doing with R-rated comic book movies right now, and that the studios are looking at this film and thinking maybe R-rated comic book movies can be done. You know, we've seen the green light of the well, it was already green lit, but the Wolverine movie, they seem to be doing R-rated now. They said that they would do it R-rated. They thought of doing it R-rated before Deadpool came out. I don't know if I believe that, but that's going to be R-rated. Recently, actually enough, they announced that they were moving forward with the Lobo movie, which
the DC Lobo.
Yeah, the DC Lobo.
Jeez, I wasn't expecting that.
That's been in development hell for ages now. I mean,
that's kind of ironic for a Lobo thing.
A few years ago, they actually, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was attached to it, but now he's doing Black Adam. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually do go forward with this. Who will take over as Lobo?
I don't know if I could see him playing Lobo.
I think he has the charisma to play Lobo, but I don't know.
He has the body to play Lobo.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting who'll get, though, because it's an interesting character. I think if they do it right, it's hard. If they do some kind of like an R-rated Guardians of the Galaxy style, I think that could work. Another one we'll later talk to with the R-rated the R-rated kind of fiasco that's moving over Hollywood now, because all these R-rated properties are getting greenlit because of Deadpool. It really is because of Deadpool, because
Deadpool really got the ball
the
rolling.
way these Hollywood studios look, they let one kid. Let's say, analogy, they let one kid test the water, dip their foot in. If the water's warm, they'll all come in. If the water's cold, everyone will go out.
Yeah, everyone pulls out straight away.
You know,
like look at Watchmen. Like DC. Like fair enough, like that's not a comedy. It was an actual serious.
That's even harder. I think what they did with Watchmen, because it's a serious film.
Yeah, because kids are not going to be going to see Watchmen, but still, that's in my top 10 movies.
We all love Watchmen.
Watchmen, yeah, it's an incredible movie. Like.
Even I think what happens with Zack Snyder movies is that they start off mixed, and then they get more progressively better, more well received.
It's like a fine wine.
Even we'll talk about so much things later. We're really excited, but we'll talk about Man of Steel and how the reaction of that is getting even more positive lately. But we're excited for Sausage Party.
Oh no,
really excited.
I think my favorite part, like just in that trailer, was it's like, you know, like that. I don't want to sound racist, but the stereotypical or stereotype. Typical Indian guy. It's like, no, you don't want to do that. It's like, but we gotta tell everybody that, like, we gotta change this. And like, oh yeah, fuck me, right?
It's definitely changing up the stereotype of the wise Indian. Actually, I have down here, Sausage Party has actually been screened at South by Southwest, which I think ended maybe today, or I think it might still be ongoing. But South by Southwest is on right now, and a lot of reviews have come out of that. Stuff that I haven't been really looking at, but a screening was showed of Sausage Party at South by Southwest. And great reviews all around. It has 100% Rotten Tomatoes right now as of yet. There's 7 reviews, so it's going to go down obviously, but that's great news coming out of that. What they showed was they showed most of the movie, but there is little bits that are still being storyboarded and animated. So they will be ready for August 12th, I think is when it's coming out here.
Is that when it's coming out?
August 12th
I
this
didn't know
year.
it was coming out that early.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because I thought it was going to come out nearly around December or something like that.
Yeah, I thought I was going to say November, yeah.
But no, it's coming out August, so we've got Suicide Squad August 7th. Sausage Party August 12th.
What's else coming out in August? Something else it's August 5th. Something's coming out.
I have no idea.
Oh,
we'll get into that later.
I remember thinking something's coming out.
We'll say it if we can remember. Next thing we have up here, we'll end just to say that Sausage Party is going to be great. It's going to be great.
That's definitely going to be one of, like, it's going to be on our watch list for this year.
It's definitely the two big surprises of this year are going to be Deadpool and Sausage Party, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to be, because it's going to be a big shock to the Hollywood system, and that people realize that
we can
branch out into different forms of ratings, because the R-rated rating has just been kind of this bad word around Hollywood that if something's R-rated, the box office is going to fail. But hopefully this changes
it's
that.
Like a curse.
Yeah.
Like.
It's not as bad as like NC-17, which is like that's confirming it's going to fail at the box office. But hopefully that will change. I think it will. Next piece of news we have right now, and Chow, you're not big into this. Obviously, the Han Solo casting rumors. Well, not even rumors. It's like, pretty much.
I like Star Wars. I haven't seen the new Star Wars. I've seen all the other Star Wars.
Blasphemy!
I've seen all the other Star Wars like twice, but I don't know. Even still watching them, I like them, but I was never a fan of it.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Star Wars, but I do like Star Wars. I never really kept up
to date on it. Like,
anyway, the Han Solo movie is coming out 2017. 2017, 2018. I'm not exactly sure. That's bad research on my part, but sometime around there. And it's been done by the guys who did 21, 22 Jump Street and the Lego Movie. These guys are the hot brand in Hollywood right now. Everyone wants to work with these guys. They're working on so many properties right now. And obviously they can't turn down Star Wars.
Yeah, but you can't actually do it.
So a report came out about a month ago. It was by one of the trustworthy sites that we go off, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline, one of those guys, and they announced that there was a shortlist for the Han Solo movie on obviously who's going to be playing Han Solo, and basically any young actor, up and coming actor, was in that list. It had Dave Franco, Miles Teller, Ansel.
Imagine Dave Franco playing Han Solo.
I couldn't imagine Dave Franco.
I like Dave Franco.
I
don't think I can see him playing a serious.
Everyone likes the Franco brothers, but I don't know if I'd be able to see Dave Franco.
Solo,
I don't know. It had anyone like Logan Lerman, Ansel Elgort, all those guys. And reportedly it's been narrowed down to three three guys, and that is Jack Rayner, Taron Egerton, and Alden Ehrenreich. Jack Rayner, who you unfortunately may know from Transformers 4. He is he's an Irish person like ourselves.
So obviously especially me, I'm gonna have his back a little more.
Yeah, we all kind of want Jack Rayner to do well, and he's a great actor. He's a very good actor.
He was good in Transformers. So was Mark Wahlberg. Most of the actors were relatively good in.
Not the woman, not the girl.
Never really the woman in Transformers.
Michael Bay doesn't like women. Michael Bay doesn't like any actors. I don't think he just likes explosions. It's hard to do well when you're being directed by Michael Bay. In fairness,
he'd just be given like a CGI project and just let it run wild.
What I like though is that Jack Rayner, if you go on his IMDb page, he does seem to be getting a lot of work in the States right now with projects that do seem promising.
He does deserve it. I'm not just saying that from Irish.
If you want to see a good Jack Rayner performance, watch What Richard Did. It's an Irish film directed by Lenny Abramson, who just is coming off a Best Directing.
Is he?
He's come out a Best Directing nominee, and he's a Best Director nominee right now off Room, and I'm sure most people here.
I didn't even know he directed.
He did do Room, and he did Frank with Michael Fassbender, which is also great.
I still haven't seen that actually.
It's great. But Jack Rayner is definitely the best thing in What Richard Did. It's a great movie. The next one we have is Taron Egerton.
I do like him as well. He's your man from Kingsman. He's
Eggsy from Kingsman. I think everyone's rooting for. I'd like if any of these guys got, and we'll go on to Alden Ehrenreich, who's kind of the underdog here.
Yeah, he's kind of the new kid in the block.
Taron Egerton is going to be a movie star. He's going to be the next. He's the next DiCaprio. He's the next George Clooney. The next Christian Bale. He's going to be the next big guy. He just came off Eddie the Eagle, which is coming out here soon, which is getting really good reviews. It's not doing too well at the box office because Eddie the Eagle is a British icon, not an American icon.
Yeah, so like a lot of them aren't going to see it. I can understand that. Like,
it's getting great reviews from American critics, but it's just people aren't going to see it. But he's supposed to be great in it. And Hugh Jackman's supposed to be good.
I saw the trailer, and the trailer does look really good. It did get me enticed to something I never thought I'd really watch, but I don't know. Like, it's just not my cup of tea. Yeah. I'll probably go see it, but it's just not the kind of like plot I'd kind of be into.
I think Taron Egerton is definitely the favourite with everyone here to win, to get this role, and I think he'd be great.
I'm more or less happy with anybody.
I'm happy with any of these guys. I'm happy with any of these guys getting, and that's why I like this list so much. Taron, of course, Kingsman, everyone knows him from that. He was just so good in that. On
point, like
fantastic.
Like that movie could have.
Everyone loves Kingsman.
You can't get better, really.
Yeah, he especially for a young actor, and he's actually Welsh, and for a Welsh person to be able to do a London accent is great. The next one, and this is the wild card here, Alden Ehrenreich. Alden, of course, known mostly by tweens for his role in Beautiful Creatures, which is a piece of shit. Alden, of course, poor Alden was stuck in that film. But you haven't seen Hail Caesar yet.
No, I haven't.
I have. It's good. It's a good movie. It's not Coen's best, obviously, because we Big Lebowski, No Country for Old Men, Fargo.
Yeah, so
but he's the best thing in that. He's the best thing. He's the best thing in Hail Caesar in a film where you've Josh Brolin, George Clooney, Channing Tatum, who's doing great stuff right now, Scarlett Johansson, Jonah Hill, although Jonah Hill's in it for like 10 seconds. But he's the best thing in that. And most people do agree on that. Everyone likes him, but most people will agree that he is the best thing in that movie. I haven't seen a lot of stuff with him in it. He is great in that movie. He commands the screen. He has multiple scenes with Ralph Fiennes and Josh Brolin, and he just does so well in them. So that's why I'd like to see any of these guys win. I think any of these guys deserve this role, and I'm interested in I'd like to see all of them play it. I'd like to see like three different Han Solo movies.
I'd like a test footage of each of them doing the exact same thing.
That's why I think I'd be interested to see that. Sort of like a
only like 5 minutes of a scene, or just like one scene.
I think that'd be good to release actually, because you Star Wars, which is such a fan driven franchise right now, and if you released just say Disney comes out and says we've chosen the guy, but here's the three test footage shots we released that we'll release to you and see what you think. But we've chosen the guy. We've definitely chosen him. He's picked.
Yeah. And
then they see the reaction and see what people like the most. I think it's kind of like a Deadpool situation with that test footage. Release that and see how people react to it. Because I mean, fans are have more power to them in Hollywood right now. So I think that'd be interesting to see.
I'd like that. I'd watch it. Like
that'd be a good piece of kind of testing the water marketing. But as we said, any of these guys we think would be just fantastic to see
Yeah,
this role.
I would like to see any of these guys.
Next up, we have right here, and this is news that everyone was at first really excited about, except me.
Now everyone's very skeptical.
Yeah,
about
everyone's
it.
extremely skeptical now, and that is the announcement out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like out of thin air.
I thought it was a joke at first, especially for the second reason of how old he is at this point.
But anyway, Indiana Jones 5 has been announced with, of course, Steven Spielberg coming back to direct. I didn't think he'd come back after what happened last time. Harrison Ford coming back to direct. I don't know if he'd come back after last time, and because he just had
I didn't know if he'd be able to come back.
He had two massive injuries off Star Wars, where he broke his leg when a door fell on him.
He barely even did anything at the same time.
Yeah, we have a movie. If you've seen The Force Awakens, he didn't do much in them. Like, he's great in the movie, but a lot of that was sitting down and Chewie, we're home and all this. He didn't even do much, but now it's Indiana Jones, where he will have to do a lot. Well, I don't know if he'll do the stunts, but obviously not.
This is the Indiana Jones that runs away from a giant boulder type of Indiana
Swinging
Jones.
from trees.
Exactly, with a fucking whip.
That was Shia LaBeouf in that last movie. Let's not talk about that. And everyone, of course, is like, okay, this is it. This is the return to form. Indiana Jones 5. We're gonna come back.
What's he gonna do? Go back in time?
We're gonna come back and do it. They're gonna do it. And then the news is released that the guy who wrote The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is coming back to write, and no one's excited anymore.
That's if he lives through the whole movie. Like, bear in mind, he's 70.
I don't know.
He's 70.
He's in his 70s, but he's
in his mid 70s, and he'll be in his late 70s by the time the movie actually gets released.
I mean, we don't even know when they're shooting this. I would guess maybe if they're moving ahead with the script next year or late next year, early 2018. Oh, not this year.
No,
early
2017.
Early 2017, mid 2017, whatever the word is in the script.
2019.
I don't think they even released the release date or the projected release date. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Indiana Jones franchise.
I'm the same as I am with Star Wars.
I guess that's what happens when the first film your dad takes you to see in the Indiana Jones franchise is the fourth one, which everyone despises, and I was like, what the hell is this? I mean, when you're 10 years old and you're like, what the hell is this shit? Yeah,
you know it's not good when you're tired at all. Like, even with 10-year-olds, of course, you can't even win them.
I've gone back and watched the rest of them. I think they're fine. You know, I think
they're definitely they're perfect for their time. They were releasing anyway.
Exactly, because we had the whole Nazis thing.
Yeah.
Where that kind of came back after the Cold War and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we don't have much to say on this really. There's not much to talk about.
Yeah, like
really.
A lot of information has been released yet about it.
Yeah, all we know is that Harrison Ford's back, Spielberg's back, and the guy who wrote Ford is back, unfortunately. So
we're sorry.
I don't even know if I'm gonna say I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't really care. And people are screaming at the screen right now if they're listening to this. Blasphemous! You shouldn't be talking about movies, but I'm just not excited for this.
I don't know.
I really don't care.
It's one of those things. I'll probably go see the cinema again, but I'm not going to be happy about going to see it.
We're not going to be Batman vs Superman excited.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll get to that later because we have a lot to say about that later.
Jesus.
Next off, and we will do occasional TV news. If it suits us, but if we think we've something to say that's interesting about TV. But Daredevil came out on Friday.
Would you even consider that TV? It comes out on Netflix.
It's basically a 13-hour movie.
Basically.
I'm on episode 10 right now. I'm halfway through episode 10, and you're on.
I've already started episode 2, so.
You're on I'm on episode 10. Chadwick's on episode 2. I've said this is the best comic book show going right now.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic, and what I love about this is that you thought the first season was violent and graphic.
I did.
This season is graphic. This is because I remember going onto Netflix and seeing that the
first episode was just brutal.
They rated
the
first season at 15. This is rated at 18 for good reason. This is heavy duty shit. But it's great. It's definitely on par with season 1. I need to think it over again after I finish it to think if it's better. But it's definitely it's fantastic. And what I love is the development of what they're doing right now. The development of the relationship between Matt and Foggy and Karen and what they're doing. They feel like they actually get along. You know,
see, like in the first one, it felt very kind of. it was good. It was very, very good. And Foggy and Matt had a very, very good relationship. That was good.
Yeah.
But Karen always felt like
she felt like the weak link.
Yeah, it was very kind of she was out there. She's outside the circle.
I liked Karen. I thought Deborah Ann Wool did it great. She was great as the character, but the character's interactions with everyone else.
She was a bit just like isolated, like secluded by herself, kind of like.
And what I think is great about this is that the three of them feel like they're collectively a unit. It's the Nelson and Murdoch team, and
because like there was it was I don't want to say a love triangle. It wasn't, because it was only really between Karen and Foggy.
Yeah,
but
that develops.
Yeah,
that goes in a different direction this season. But I won't say anything.
But it was weird. It was weird that like the direction like they decided to take it a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, like it was a bit of a waste. It was just a circle between Foggy and Karen in season 1, and it was one of those things everybody kind of just shunned away. Like no one really cared.
No one talked about it, and definitely people are talking about.
It was just a little bit of a filler, just to kind of like.
People are definitely talking about Karen Page this season, and she is great. She really comes into her own this season, but the main thing, and you might not be thinking about this as much because you only finished the first episode. John Bernthal as the Punisher. He is. You can't get more perfect casting than that. And it's one of those things you never would have really thought of it, and then you hear it, and you think that's perfect casting. And I was just hoping and praying that this was going to be great, and it is. He is mesmerizing. He's got this real intensity, and you think that any second he could snap and kill you, which is what usually happens.
That's what I actually thought. Like at the very beginning, do you remember the very beginning of the first episode of Daredevil? It was just showing there's a bank robbery going on, and they're running away and whatever, but they slowly started to get picked off one by one.
Yeah.
But you can see like the brutality of what they were going through. Like they were just being absolutely destroyed. And I was there thinking, are they bringing the Punisher in this quickly?
Yeah.
So I didn't think so. But like, it was. I just thought it was the Punisher, and then I thought it was Daredevil. Then I saw it was Punisher. Yeah, obviously it turns out to be Daredevil.
Spoilers. I know it's the first scene of the whole.
Like you kind of know it anyway.
Yeah. But that's definitely the theme of this season is brutality, and it's really shown with how far they go. I don't think they overstep the line. They get close to it, but they don't overstep the line because it does have a purpose. You know, it's the Punisher. It has to be violent and gory. You know, that's a part of the Punisher. It has to be that extent of violence. But even the callbacks to season 1, because what I didn't want was that they didn't acknowledge season 1 at all, and I didn't want just the Kingpin's in jail, everything's okay now.
Yeah, they just brush over.
I know it feeds into this what happens in the season, and it's an integral part of the story, which I like. Because I think that happens. We were just talking about how the MCU movies don't really do that much. Yeah. It seems to be happening in Civil War right now, thank God. But I mean, you could watch like 5 Marvel movies and not watch the other 5, and probably wouldn't impact you. If you choose the right, Iron Man 3, you can watch that movie and it will make no impact to the MCU as a whole.
Yeah, like
except that Iron Man doesn't have a hole in his chest anymore.
But it's the same thing. Like, he still used the suit the exact same way, so it really has no correlation to whatever else is going on.
Speaking of suit. The suit in Daredevil season 2, even though it is the same model of suit they use in the first season, the first suit they use anyway, it seems infinitely better. And what I will say is, come episode 3 or 4, this suit is infinitely better, even more infinitely better than the other infinitely better one. It's miles better.
It just keeps getting better, like.
They're definitely developing this suit slowly more into the more comic accurate suit, and you will definitely see that more as you watch the show. But I can't wait to see season 3 already, which is unfortunate because that's not coming out for a while.
How long will that take? That would take about a year.
Well, they're doing Luke Cage has been announced. That's coming out on the 30th of September, the 1st or the 30th of September.
So much stuff is coming out this year. It's actually unreal.
It's crazy. And
the whole comic book world has really just shot off. Like since about 2005, I'd say. Like
2005, because we had Batman Begins.
Yeah.
And then of course the Dark Knight in 2008 changed
it's
things.
just skyrocketed
and
so
then
much.
The Avengers in 2012 completely changed Hollywood because everyone wants a shared universe, and I think Marvel are doing a great job with their TV and movies. DC are doing a great job with their TV. And it looks like they're doing it with their movies as well. Yeah. We'll have to wait till Thursday night to see how that goes. But what are you looking forward to in the next few episodes of Daredevil? Because I know I can say it right here, right now. it's a great season. Definitely watch it as soon as you can.
I don't know, a lot of, a few things did happen in, bear in mind, I was watching Daredevil episode 1 while I was falling asleep. So, a few things are a little bit foggy, but...
wow.
But,
wow.
But, I don't know, it seems like it is taking the same type of tone from season 1. You know, the kind of, obviously, it's going to sound so cliche or whatever, but, you know, vigilante... going around at the night.
Definitely more... it's the thing about the shows. It's definitely street level compared to the MCU movies.
Yeah, exactly. It's more... I want to say humane, but it's not. But it's...
I know what you're going to, because he actually gets hit.
Yeah, it's more humanizing than if you see Batman going out. Batman... even though Batman is fucking awesome, and I will gladly say that.
We will.
Yeah.
We will always say that.
But, Batman, kind of, you look at him and he's he is a higher being almost. When you see him go out, you've even seen in the movies that the bad guys would actually get scared, some of them, or whatever, or even in the games or whatever. You don't really see that with Daredevil because...
Yeah, we see a more human side to this character, both when he's in the costume and when out of the costume.
Yeah, so it's... I don't know, it's refreshing to see that. It makes it more entertaining to watch.
Definitely when there's a lot of movies right now, and superhero movies just deal with saving the world and all this. It's definitely great to see more street level thing, which is definitely what people took away from first season as well. So definitely, if you haven't caught Daredevil yet, if you haven't watched the first season, watch it. Watch it now, and then watch the second season.
Just forget this podcast. Just dump it and just go watch that first.
Well, watch the whole thing first, and then
you might as well watch.
Go onto Netflix right now while you're listening to this, and then
load it up.
Yeah, put in your watch layer, and then when you're done this, you can watch it then and enjoy yourself, because Daredevil's great. Definitely go out and watch it as soon as you can. Next, we're moving on to now this is controversial between everyone here, and that is the announcement from Charles Roven, producer. He's kind of the head honcho of the whole DC Warner Brothers movies that are going on right now. Reports that even in the midst of all this green lighting of all these R-rated properties, the DC movies will stay PG-13 for the foreseeable future. They will stay PG-13. I think this is fine, because from what we've seen, especially from Suicide Squad, they can get away with tons of things with PG-13, and you think a bit differently.
I like the idea. I can understand it would expand your audience a lot more. Everyone is able to see it. It's not like if you're 18, you're not allowed to go see a PG-13 movie. That's all well and good, but I feel like they shouldn't put a tie on it. I feel like I felt like there was no reason for them to say it. I can understand if it's going to be PG-13, people are going to know about it. You're going to see it anyway. But I feel like they anchored themselves a little bit. I understand they can always take it off or whatever, but at the same time, I didn't feel like there was a need for them to say it.
I think the big thing with this consistency, which is my greatest worry for the future of the X-Men franchise, because if we have Deadpool, who's confirmed to be in the X-Men franchise, he is part of it. He is a very big part of it now, seeing as it's doing so well. How is he going to interact with these other characters? Because if Deadpool comes into an X-Men movie and can't say fuck, shit, bastard, any of this shit, or what he usually says, this is what I think is good, because we understand that Deadpool has to be R-rated. Batman does not have to be R-rated.
Yeah, no,
people say, "Oh, we need a R-rated Batman movie." No, we don't.
You don't.
You don't need, because there's no swearing in Batman. There's sex and all, but there's no need for it. It's not an integral part of this character.
The only time you should ever have an R-rated Batman movie is for the Killing Joke or something.
Something that if it's part of the story,
or a death in the family,
has to be done. That has to be done.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Like a death in the family or the Killing Joke or whatever. It's
that warrants an R-rated.
Exactly. Yeah. But for an everyday kind of Batman movie, just saving the world again kind of thing, it's or Gotham even, it's you don't need an R-rated movie.
You know, I think a lot of people thought that Suicide Squad was going to be R-rated.
I
had the back of my head that maybe it was going to be. The thing is, people, this is going to be the same audience as the Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
People, because the problem.
It's the underdogs for
exactly.
movies.
The audience for this is looking for Margot Robbie and Jared Leto.
Yeah.
No one is going for this movie for Killer Croc. except comic book fans. The mainstream audience here will see Joker and Harley Quinn in the poster. They'll see Joker and be, okay, that's the Joker. Everyone knows the Joker. And that's why I think this movie's going to succeed so well. Because it's doing what I think smaller properties should do. They're getting big characters like the Joker, who is the biggest villain in comics.
Yeah, so you'll go watch it thinking he's going to be the main part.
You will watch this movie for the Joker. You will come out loving Killer Croc.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You will come out loving...
And then, like, if they get, like, the 1%ers who go, that was a really good comic, they'll go out and buy the comics, which in turn...
It's marketing... It's a form of
marketing inside marketing.
Yes, exactly.
Marketingception.
And what I think what this movie is going to do is it's going to increase the popularity of the Joker. Harley Quinn is going to be the biggest one coming out of that movie. Because she's the biggest thing coming out of all the trailers.
Yeah.
And... I think the movie's going to do a lot for Margot Robbie. I think it's going to do a lot for Jared Leto. I think it's going to do a lot for Jai Courtney, who is in the bad books right now because the last two movies he's done are Terminator Genesis, and he did that terrible Die Hard movie that no one wants to watch again. Because he's getting great reception from the trailers, what we've seen him in. I think it looks great. I don't think it warrants an R rating because. I thought maybe it would have because we see that.
I feel like it could be R-rated, but I feel like it could also be like
there's ways around.
It was it would be an unnecessary R-rating.
This isn't going to have the same appeal as Batman vs Superman for two reasons. First off, Batman and Superman are the most iconic superheroes of all time. Second,
even if you're not a comic book fan,
no family is going to go up and say, "Hey Timmy, do you want to see Suicide Squad?"
Yeah, even just the name alone is just kind of thing. I'm not going to bring my kids to that.
I think this will do Guardians of the Galaxy numbers.
Yeah, it'd be one of those unexpected things that like people weren't expecting it to be as big as it is.
If it gets great reception, which I think it'll get around the $700-800 million mark, which they will be absolutely thrilled with. We're both excited for that.
I'm really looking forward to that.
We're really looking forward to that. Now, this is where we get to the big jugs. Now, we have a background on top of this. We are going to see Batman vs Superman Thursday night. We both have tickets. First screening midnight, 12:01, 1 minute past midnight.
2D, of course, because if you go see this movie in 3D, I hate you. I can't.
Doesn't like 3D at all.
I don't like 3D. I find it's one of those unnecessary things again. Like, why you don't need to go see these movies in 3D. Fair enough, if you want, that's all well and good. But if it's a movie that's made for 3D, and again, I will say this all the time, the likes of Tron. Something that is that like you can see it in 3D because it would make sense just the way Tron is. Then all well and good. Yeah, I saw that in 3D and it was brilliant. But then I've seen other movies in 3D as well, and they were absolutely terrible. It just hurt my eyes.
They end up ruining the movie for you, and that's one thing we don't want. Exactly. We want to go into this.
I'd end up taking my glass off an hour into it, and then I wouldn't be able to see the movie fully for the next hour, and it's ridiculous. Like so.
Anyway, this is going to be our little Batman vs Superman kind of preview. And this will take a while because we have a lot to say on this. The hype for this thing is real. This has been... I can still remember 3 years ago. 3 years ago since this was announced at that Comic-Con where Harry Lennox came out and read out that passage from The Dark Knight Returns, and every single person who has read The Dark Knight Returns...
Lost their shit.
No, they lost it. I remember getting up out of bed. I knew Comic-Con was on, so I checked the news. Got my... Google News, YouTube News, I see all these things like Batman going to be in Man of Steel sequel. Really? And then I saw the leaked video of the reading of that passage, and I thought, this is every single comic book fan's dream. And that is what this is. That's right now.
It was a wet dream. I didn't know about it until about a year later.
Yeah. So, I don't know what's going to happen after I see this movie because it's been such a part of me now for 3 years that I think every day I have to bring it up at least once. That's coming out. I just can't wait for this thing. The tickets, we have our tickets booked. The ticket advance sales, Fandango released their advance ticket sales. They're doing better than Deadpool, which is not a surprise because Deadpool isn't not back then. It is now, but it wasn't a mainstream fan basis. But the big thing is it's doing better than the Avengers and Fury 7, which is two movies that made over $1.5 billion.
Like the Avengers, that was a fucking explosion in the box office.
It's a huge that movie changed comic book movies and movies as a whole forever.
Like I feel like that's what a lot of these comic book things are doing. That like they saw the Avengers, as you said earlier, like they it was like a little boy putting their their foot in the water.
Yeah,
like
exactly,
that's what they're doing. They're testing the water. And since it worked so well, they're all trying to do these things.
You can understand why DC obviously wants to do a shared universe, and this is really their film kicking off this shared universe right now.
Yeah, Justice League.
But I mean, Universal trying to get like a shared monsters universe, like Frankenstein and Dracula, which let's just keep this out. That's discussion for another day, or a rant for another day, should we say?
Yeah.
This film, there was so much writing on this film. If this film isn't going to fail financially. Let's just get that straight. This film is not going to fail financially. There's not a hope of this film failing.
Everybody is going to see that.
No.
I'm sorry. My parents would not even. They would not be a cinema goer.
Yeah.
They would not be a comic book fan. Nor would they be anywhere they know about Batman, Superman, but they're still going to see it in the cinema. It's just because they're two huge names.
Yeah.
Now, naturally enough, both of them think, "Oh, Superman's going to win, hands down." Because
that could be the big surprise for all the people who haven't read
exactly,
much
yeah.
comics.
So now, obviously, we don't know who's going to win or if there is going to be a winner.
I think it might be a stalemate.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be. I feel like if they let either one win, they're going to have backlash.
I'll be happy with either. Honestly.
Yeah, see, if they let Batman win, there's got you're going to have the Superman people.
We're going to get all the.
But if you let Superman win, it's like you're going to have all the Batman people.
Yeah, I mean that's why I think it's going to be a draw or a stalemate because
it's
to avoid the backlash or whatever they want to call it.
Imagine if it's not. Jesus Christ, we're going to have a lot to talk about next week. Then
first off, we will be getting our review up as fast as we can. We can say if we can get one up on Friday. Yeah. After we'll try.
It'll be as soon as possible.
that will be our full episode. It's just that because I'm sure we'll have a lot to say.
We'll have fucking so much
first
stuff.
off, as I was saying, there was so much writing on this movie. Suicide Squad is in post production right now. I can't imagine what the reaction to that movie is going to be if Batman vs Superman fails critically. Because there's no going back right now. It's bad enough not bad enough, but bad enough if this film fails critically that Suicide Squad is in post and coming out a few months after. But Wonder Woman has actually officially just wrapped up filming, and that's going into post right now.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And Batman vs Superman is supposed to start shooting. I think it's reportedly April 1st, which is five days after this movie is released. So it's good because it shows they have faith in this thing.
Yeah.
And that's been, I think, everyone's criticism of the DC Warner Brothers universe right now is that they don't seem like they know what they're doing. They don't seem to have faith in this property. But I definitely think that going on with Ben Affleck and Chris Terrio being heavily involved with this film, they are the guys that are going to anchor this. Of course, we've Zack Snyder directing, and we know he can make a visual masterpiece. But we have the backed up attachment of Chris Terrio, who is coming off an Oscar for Argo, just won an Oscar. He's Ben Affleck's writing partner, and Ben Affleck, as we know, is a huge power in Hollywood right now after he's brought his career back. And of course, the embargo is officially dropped on Tuesday, so we'll have probably an official Rotten Tomatoes consensus, but we'll definitely have a score, an early score up on Tuesday, which will be really interesting to see.
It'll define our opinions of what's going on.
I'm not gonna judge it too much because
I will try.
This is the problem. When you judge these comic book movies towards each other, Deadpool didn't do fantastically with critics, but every audience member loved it. Every audience member loved it.
You saw it 3 times. I saw it twice.
I mean,
I would still see it again.
The thing is, sometimes I don't know how they judge these movies, because in a world where Iron Man 2 has a greater Rotten Tomato score than Man of Steel is a world I don't want to live in.
I hate that movie so much.
Because if you ask anyone who even loves the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Iron Man 2 is an abomination. In a world where Superman Returns has a bigger score than Man of Steel, I don't want to be associated with film critics because it's just disgraceful.
There's a certain level where you should ignore wherever the fuck they say.
And that's why I think it's because film critics don't really seem to like Zack Snyder's work, and that's all fine and dandy.
I feel like Zack Snyder did something to piss every single one of them off. And
we're going into fanboy territory right now. We're going against all this thing, all these critics. But I don't care if this film has a 20% score or an 80% score. I'm going into this thing as excited as I can be. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna still be excited when I see the trailers for probably X-Men Apocalypse and whatever. And as soon as I see that Warner Brothers logo, I'm gonna halt my expectations and just watch the movie and judge it for what it is.
See, I made the mistake of doing the other thing when I wanted to go see Deadpool. I was looking forward to Deadpool for about a year and a half. So I was there getting all excited. I went into the cinema, and naturally enough, I saw every single trailer several times, and I still wanted more. But when I went in to see the movie, even though the movie was great, I was expecting so much more because my expectations were way too high. But then when I went to go see it the second time, it was like a whole new movie because I was able to actually, instead of analyze it, I was able to actually just take in the comedy and all the writing and everything. It was a masterpiece. It was better the second time. So if you have seen it once, I think that as well. Go see it again.
Go see it again. And I will say this. If you're like us and you're really excited for Batman vs Superman, you're jumping out your seat, you can't wait to see this film like we are, I'm going to go see this film twice.
Yeah.
Because I know no matter how much I say I'm going to drop my expectations, and I will, I'm still going to have that expectation. So I'm going to see it twice. And what I am going to read the reviews for this thing because I want to know what I'm getting into here. Because with Deadpool, the critics did say it's short and sweet. You have seen a lot of it, but you'll laugh at it again. And that's what we did see a lot of that movie in the trailers. I just kept laughing. I still thought it was great. And of course, we have seen some early reactions to Batman vs Superman, and they've all been great, which is really nice because they've all been audience related reactions, and they've all been great. And of course, if any of you watching this who are interested in movie podcasts, you've probably heard John Campia of recently left Collider Movie Talk talking about Batman vs Superman, and he's so excited for this film, like us. Of course, I don't know John. I have a lot of respect for John because he's listening to him has really helped me understand movies more. But he is extremely excited for this. This is his number one most excited movie, I think, along with the new Star Wars movie. John, of course, is someone that you can trust if he says he knows someone who's seen this film. He will always say it for a film that he has seen. He will give his honest reaction, and he will tell his honest reaction from people who have seen it that he trusts. A trusted source of his has seen Batman vs Superman and says it's great. So it's great news. And the early reactions that we've heard, the number one and two thing that I've really heard from it is that firstly, Ben Affleck is the best cinematic Batman we've ever had, which I think I
was one of those guys at the start, though. I will admit I did not see Ben Affleck being a great Batman. I didn't think he was going to do a bad job of it. I didn't see him going to be I didn't think he was going to be as good as he is now. I will admit, I was one of those guys that kind of went, I think he might have made a wrong choice here.
For 1 year, I had to defend Ben Affleck for 1 year until that first picture came out and that first trailer came out. 1 year of saying, this last comic movie that he did was Daredevil, which he's fine in. The movie itself isn't great. He's fine in. But he got so much shit for that thing.
It was shit. The movie was terrible. But
he's not bad in it.
Colin Farrell again. Colin Farrell's not a bad actor.
Colin Farrell's not bad in that movie.
But
the acting I would say the acting in that movie is not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not. But just the movie itself was just not good.
Let's get off Daredevil. The point I was trying to make here is that Ben Affleck will not do a comic book movie again if he did not have faith in this thing. And he's said repeatedly that he has faith in this thing. He even brought Chris Terry on, who everyone keeps going on, especially Jesse Eisenberg, is saying is a fantastic script. And the second thing that we're hearing most about this movie is that Jesse Eisenberg is a fantastic
I was just about to say he was somebody else.
Now, I will say, I will not lie about this. When I heard Jesse Eisenberg was playing Lex Luthor, I was like, what?
Yeah,
that's a bit weird. What's going on here?
I was skeptical about that as well.
Of course, I just want to say this for everyone. Just a little thing. Please don't say that Bryan Cranston should have played Lex Luthor. Please don't say Bryan Cranston should have played Lex Luthor. Because first off, this is a thing that goes with the Jennifer Lawrence thing as well. I want to bring this back just to show everyone how I feel about this. You don't change a script or a film to suit the actor. You change the actor to suit the script. And I don't know how anyone could see Bryan Cranston playing a 30-year-old brash, arrogant Lex Luthor when he's 55, maybe and older. So it took us a while to get used to the Lex Luthor that they are portraying in this movie, the young.
But it seems to work.
From what we've heard, it seems he's doing great and he does great work, and hopefully he does, because that means that we've proven out of all that backlash, and that's the consistent backlash that it has had, excuse me, for this whole marketing campaign, is that Jesse Eisenberg doesn't look great as Lex Luthor, until I've kind of seen a 180 on this. There was a clip released previously that confirmed what a lot of us were thinking about his character. It was actually shown, I think it was Good Morning America, it was Jesse Eisenberg was on, and they showed a clip from the movie that I won't spoil, but it showed the dark side of what they're doing with this new Lex Luthor character, which I think is really interesting, because if you've noticed, what they seem to be doing is that in the public eye, this Lex Luthor is kind of a goofy kind of Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent kind of thing they're playing here.
He's young, like he's not the kind of evil kind of. He's not against Superman much at this point.
No, he's against Superman, but he's got what I like what they're doing with this character.
He's not 80s against Superman yet.
What they're doing with this character is that they're paralleling Superman, especially the old Christopher Reeve Superman, because in the public eye, this character is really, he's pulling off this kind of, I'm just a jokey, goofy little businessman. Yeah. And then behind the closed doors, this guy is a ruthless maniac. And that really parallels Batman and Superman, because not so much in this film, but the Christopher Reeve Superman with the bumbling journalist who was secretly Superman, who was the American icon and the guy who can lift up like 20 tons. And even the score, which I've listened to bits of it. I haven't listened to the whole thing, which the bits I've listened to are fantastic. But someone pointed out in the comment section of the Lex Luthor track that the musical score in that track is actually a backwards version of the Superman score, manipulated into a new theme.
That is...
Which, I mean, Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL have done a great job.
I didn't know who was doing the score, but I had a feeling Hans Zimmer was
when you hear Hans Zimmer's doing a score for something that he seems to really care about.
Just watch for the music.
Yeah, I mean, people who didn't like Man of Steel, which, as we were saying earlier, seems to... Even you go on comment sections now, Man of Steel is highly regarded now. I think because people have gotten used to that type of Superman, the modern Superman, and I think the problem with that was too many people were used to the Christopher Reeve Superman, especially people who just watch movies, because the Superman character has developed in comics. He's the new kind of... He's not the Boy Scout anymore. He's he's more to him now.
Bear in mind, what there was, it went from 80s Superman to Superman Returns, which with Sean that's not happening.
The Superman character for decades had not developed, because we had the Christopher Reeve Superman who was the typical Boy Scout, who was great for that time, and then of course we got Superman Returns.
No, that was mixed. That was mixed between now and the Boy Scout.
It wasn't. It was trying to do the Christopher Reeve thing too much.
Yeah. Because
that was outdated at that time. It was 2006, and people wanted... So, of course, you could say people wanted the Christopher Reeve Superman, but we should have gotten a modern Superman, and that's what Man of Steel was.
Like, they tried to be Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Exactly.
And, first of all, don't do that anyway. As you said earlier on, don't get the actor to don't change the script to fit the actor. Change the actor to fit the script. Like,
it's in a way sort of obviously similar to that.
Obviously, you can't get Christopher Reeve to replay it for so many reasons.
Yeah, for most reasons that he is dead.
Yeah,
and even if we brought him back from the dead, he'd still have that paraplegic thing.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Christopher Reeve.
I have greatest respects for you.
But we want to nearly wrap this up by saying, what do you want out of Batman vs Superman?
I honestly don't know. One thing I just don't want. I don't want the typical, we're gonna fight and then actually you know what, we're just gonna shake hands and forget about it from now on. I want a bit more of a story behind it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you know Doomsday, that's jumping into it. I feel like, first of all, looking at the trailer, I don't know where the fuck Wonder Woman came from. That would
be interesting to see.
She was just there at one point. Like, even Batman and Superman didn't even know where she came from. She was like, "Is she with you?" So they don't even know where she came from. But fair enough, she's Wonder Woman, so she can't just fucking.
I'm pretty sure that's explained, that she's on some secret mission and she feeds into that.
Okay.
Which I think, what they need to do with this, and the main fear I think most people have with this movie is that there's too much in it. It's 2.5 hours long. They're setting up the Justice League, Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman,
I just
Cyborg.
hope they don't do like a Amazing Spider-Man 2 on it.
That's exactly what I was going to say, and that was the problem with Spider-Man 3 and the Amazing Spider-Man 2, is that you have all these different characters.
But they don't do shit with them.
But the main problem with that was had these different characters coming from different aspects and views. Spider-Man 3, you had Sandman, who wanted one thing. You had Venom, who wanted another thing. And you had the Green Goblin, who wanted another thing. If you root these characters around the same single plot line, of course we're going to have some subplots here.
You're overdoing it. You're oversaturating the movie.
If you mainly focus on this one storyline here, which is the ideological conflict between Batman vs Superman, and obviously there's something else going on here with Lex Luthor that maybe Wonder Woman is supposedly in this movie for, and it comes around in the end and folds into a nice little bun. Yeah. And we get the Justice League then.
Exactly. Yeah, so I can't see it working, but like I just hope it's not like we're fighting. What's that, Doomsday? It's like, hold on. It's like Batman, let's shake hands quickly and let's go fight him. I don't want it to end like that. Yeah. I want tension now. If I know like Zack Snyder, which I don't actually know him, but like
he's a great guy.
Like the way he probably portray Batman is, they might actually shake hands.
Frank Miller Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is basically will leave you absolutely paralyzed.
But,
and in this thing, we've seen that he brands people as well, which is pretty amazing. I never even thought of that.
Like he's going to be like Batman's still going to be unsure the whole time.
Yeah. Like, hopefully, I think that's what they seem to be doing.
I think it might actually bring in the idea of, in the comics, Batman has a way to...
The contingency plans.
Yeah, exactly. To be able to eliminate any of the Justice League members in a certain way. I feel like that might... Maybe not in this movie, but maybe later ones. It might tie into it. For that reason that he was fighting Superman.
I want to see a good movie that will develop this universe, which it seems to be doing, but that won't fully concentrate until like maybe the end of the movie. The third act, I think, is going to be the dawn of justice part. The first two acts are going to be the setup to this conflict between the two characters. The middle part, which is going to be obviously the biggest part of the movie, is going to be the conflict, the actual conflict. Is Batman versus Superman. But I think one thing I will say to anyone listening here who is a bit scared of having too many things in this movie, remember that the subtitle is there for a reason. This is Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
This is in a way a prequel to the Justice League.
Exactly. So there's two main things going on. It's Batman vs Superman and the beginning of the Justice League. Yes. And as well as that, you have some other things like Doomsday and you
have Mad Max Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
With the trench coat, which I'm really looking forward to. It's interesting to see what
anyway, I think for the final note, anyway, we're really excited to
see
this
I think
movie.
That's the main thing. We're really excited to see this thing. I think that's mostly it.
I think that's about it.
That's about it right now. On a final note, again, as you said, we are so excited for Batman vs Superman. We will have updates on when we're going to have a review out.
So what's that? That'd be about 5 days later.
We're going to see this on Thursday.
Thursday night.
Thursday morning. Friday morning. Thursday night.
Thursday. Okay. So hopefully on Friday, like we'll have something.
Hopefully on the Friday, the day after we see Batman vs Superman, we'll get something up to get you updated early. Of course, you'll see reviews up early because the embargo lifts, as I said, on Tuesday. So if you really want to see what the early reactions to this are, the real early reactions, go on to Rotten Tomatoes. Any of your resourceful people you look towards. Probably not like Jeremy Johns, because I think he probably put his review up on the actual day. Yeah. One I will say, Chris Stuckman, I think is seeing it early. I think he's seeing it on the Tuesday, so he'll probably have the review up on the Wednesday or the Tuesday. I trust him a lot. I'll be watching his review.
Yeah, you kind of really told me to.
Yeah, ones I would watch. Chris Stuckman, Schmoes, they'll all have the reviews up soon enough. I'd say. We can't wait. I'm so pumped to see it. I just want to see it. I don't want to see anything. I just want to see it.
That was like me for Deadpool. I could not wait for months. About 6 months beforehand, that was the only movie. I didn't care about Batman vs Superman. I didn't care about anything else.
That's what I feel like with Civil War now. I think we can wait. We can wait for Civil War. We want to see Batman vs Superman first. I think that's what we're gonna see.
That's something we're probably gonna have to bring up next week as well as Civil War. We didn't talk about anything about that.
Yeah,
and Spider-Man and everything, and Black Panther coming into that.
All of you have heard that already. Yeah, there's been tons of stuff on that. Spider-Man's gonna be in it.
Just go on Facebook or anything.
I will say one special thing: we are getting Civil War 2 days early.
Yeah, so
than
again,
the States. So we'll have probably our review up earlier than everyone else. So come to and watch it to get early reviews. I think that's gonna be it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let us know if you want. Let us know how we did. Please, not too harsh. Don't want to get depressed. We'll probably put this up on Chadwick's gaming channel, BadChad. First to see what the reaction is. We'll probably set up our own channel or get on iTunes,
and then we'll have Twitter as well. Hopefully it'll be a running thing anyway.
Our running name for this is probably like Irish Guys Talk Movies, but people probably be expecting Jacksepticeye talking movies.
Yeah, no.
But no, we're not going to do any of that. Top of the morning.
No one really speaks like him. No. Let's just get that out there.
Yeah, that's just a little.
So many Americans.
I feel like we're dragging this on at the moment. Anyway, we're going to end this right now. Hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't subscribed to Chadwick's gaming channel, BadChad, yet, please do it. BadChad on YouTube, BadChads.
Okay, I feel like we're
with
really
at the end.
This.
Please subscribe to him and subscribe to our channel if this goes up on it. Have a nice day. Watch tons of movies. Goodbye.